Hi and welcome to this video log with me, Wayne from swimmingcyclingrunning.com. Well, it's been a long time since I last posted, and that's because I've been working on a website I have that needed updating. It's drclean.co.uk. If you want to visit it, I'll put a link below. So I've been on that for 3 solid months updating that website. Hopefully it's been worth it. And I've got a YouTube channel. I'll just indicate you can visit that. You can even sign up to it if you wish and subscribe. Okay, but I'm back and I want to do lots of nice videos. Marcus sent me some videos. He said, could I send you some videos and could you analyse them? I said, okay, if it's good enough quality, I will. Now Marcus is doing Breaststroke and Butterfly, and I thought that the analysis for that particular video might help lots of other people. He's got a couple of errors that a lot of people make, and I think it might help. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go straight over to the video, and then I'll come back and we'll have another little chat. We're going to take a look at Marcus's breaststroke, and he's just pushed off the wall. He's ready to do his breakout. So there he goes, and he does his breakout. And then, if you look, he does a complete stop. And you can tell that if you look at the floats just on the lane rope there. So he's coming to the end of his breakout, and he comes to a complete stop. There was no movement against those little floats, and there's a reason for that, so we'll go back to the beginning. As he does his first fly kick, which is in the streamline position, perfectly admissible, perfectly acceptable as a legal pull-out, he breaks the surface with his feet, and you can see that there. He then breaks the surface with his bum, and he then again breaks the surface with his shoulders before he comes to the surface with a stroke. And you can see even his feet are up there, and that's why he comes to a complete standstill. Effectively, if we go back to the beginning, Marcus should have been about 1.5 feet below the surface and pushed off in that position. So he should be about 1.5 feet lower in the water than he actually is there. When you break surface tension, you actually lose speed because you're actually fighting against the surface tension of the water. Now let's just take a look at his stroke. And if we look here, if you look at his legs, his feet are together, but his knees are really wide apart. If you look there, the knees are really wide apart. And what that effectively does is it creates drag. As you can see, he's pulled his knee right in, and he's creating drag on that knee. So he's effectively pushing back against the water. What we would like to see is you would like to see the knees maximum width at about there, and then we would like him to pull his feet up to his bum, and by that he would actually stay in this really nice, or close to this really nice streamlined position. He wouldn't be pushing his knees back against the water. That's hugely important. The next thing is when he pulls his feet up, because his knees are so far apart, you can see he turns his feet out beautifully, but he actually pushes downwards, not forwards. Now effectively we want our feet to push backwards because we want to go forwards. So Newton's first law of motion, every action has an equal and opposite reaction. If you're going to push downwards, you're going to push upwards a bit, but that's obviously not pushing up because he's diving in. It's also slightly too soon with his kick. You want to be into that streamlined position before your kick happens. And if you're in that streamlined position before your kick happens, firstly he'd be lower, so his feet would be kicking back more. And secondly, he would be in the streamlined position and his kick could actually do its work. And when, at the end of the stroke, he really pulls his feet together, which is good. Now at the front end, let's just go on, he's pulling his arms together nicely. It's a wide pull. If we could keep the elbows slightly higher there, it'd be nice, because he's pulling himself up a bit too much there, but then he's getting his arms forward. Now, as you get your arms forward, what you really want to do is move your chest forward as well. So you're diving into that position, diving underwater, and he's getting underwater, but he actually isn't diving forward, and that again is slowing him down. So there you go, analysis of his breaststroke swimming. Hopefully that's helped you and it's helped Marcus. This is Marcus's butterfly. Let's just have a look. You can see that's a huge kick there that he's got, and that kick is taking him out of streamline position. it's far too large. He's raising his feet and then really going down with the kick. And that's because he's kicking very much from the knee and not from the hip. In all kicky strokes in swimming, we want to kick from the hip and not from the knee. So the kick is slightly shallower, it's within the body width. What he's doing here, it's kicking so deep that you can see it coming back against the... that's actually creating drag back against the water as he's actually raising his legs to kick. And it doesn't happen so much when he pulls his head out of the water, but that's a nice kick in terms of its strength, but it's just coming from slightly the wrong place, because when he puts his head in the water, you can see he's already dragging himself back with those feet. The feet, in fact, are now above the surface, which they shouldn't be. If we look at his arms, we can see he pulls out really nicely, starts to bring his hands forward by pulling with that shoulder muscle, and then he changes to bringing the hands forward by turning them over. And if you look at this hand and this hand, they're both turning over to, in fact, the wrong way round. So he's now pushing back against the water. You can see that he's pushing back against the water, and he's turned his arms the wrong way round. And then, because they're the wrong way round, he can't pull on the water, so they rotate out, and the elbow drops, and that's his stroke. His stroke's from there. So his stroke now is from there, whereas it should have been from there. So what you need to do with your arms is, instead of rotating them round, bring them forward in a loop using the shoulder only. And if you use the shoulder only, they will actually turn the right way round, and when they hit there, they'll be rotated the other way and ready to make a catch that far out. And if they make a catch that far out, you'll be increasing your stroke length from there to here. So your stroke will actually really improve. So effectively, here is your stroke that you want. There's the stroke that you've got. And you've just shortened your stroke. Now you've got a stroke length effectively that long. I would like you to have a stroke length that long. You can see the difference in the two. They're absolutely huge, and you'd be able to then drive forward right from the start of your stroke, as opposed to dropping those elbows and only having half a stroke. So the kick and those turnover arms, and then you'll be fine. Okay, so there we have Marcus doing breaststroke and butterfly. And in both of those, there are just certain errors that are slowing him down. Certainly a common problem with breaststroke is widening those knees and pulling those feet up. And if you do that, you always kick downwards. If you keep your knees close, turn your feet out and snap your feet together, you can see that you will be pushing backwards against the water. Add to that the fact that you want to be in that streamlined position when you kick, so that you can maximize the use of the kick. Breaststroke is the only stroke where the kick adds a huge percentage of the propulsion forward, and you don't want to waste that propulsion by actually not being fully streamlined before you kick. In butterfly, we again saw a kick problem, and that was lifting the feet too high. And if you lift the feet too high, as you can see there, you just kick back against the water. Effectively, you kick from the hip, and you can see that you maintain your kick within the body width, and you actually kick forwards as opposed to pushing back against the water. Pushing back against the water he was also doing with his arms that turned round like that. Effectively, we want to pull our arms forward. If you raise your arm properly out the water and just bring it forward, it will turn over, palm down into the right position, and then you can have a full butterfly stroke. It can be exactly the same as front crawl with some people who have a slightly straighter arm pull in front crawl. If you don't have the nice high elbow pull, if you have a wide pull, you can come into that position and you're immediately in that catch position. Well, that catch position effectively is just the butterfly position, and that can really do you well. So the two things hopefully have helped you and helped Marcus. Now I'm working on a couple of things that I really want to bring you. One of them is actually working with a power meter for running. And I think that is the place to go. And I think slowly but surely power meters are going to be coming into the swimming format as well. I'm hoping to be able to just analyze run power for you in the next few weeks. Also, there are a couple of other analysis videos that I actually want to get out. Now, if you think you want my help, then I'm happy to receive your videos that you send me. But you have to realize that once you send me your video, if I want to use it, it'll be used on this channel publicly, and effectively you're accepting the fact that you're giving me permission to use your video. Don't send me a video if you then want to say, no, I don't want to use it, I just want you to analyze it and send it back. If you want me to do that, then I'm happy to do it, but there will be a fee. Okay, hopefully you've enjoyed this. I'm back. Thumbs up and subscribe. Thanks very much for watching. See you soon.